Abandoned in a stranger's land. My daughter's shocking betrayal leads to an unbelievable twist. The sun dipped behind the mountains, casting eerie shadows across the abandoned town of New Milburn. An unsettling silence hung heavy in the air. It wasn't just the deserted streets that gave this place a sinister vibe, it was the whispers. Whispers that spoke of a neighborhood left behind, forgotten by time, but alive with secrets. Lily, the innocent 12-year-old, was drawn to this ghost town like a moth to a flame. Her wide eyes sparkled with a mix of wonder and caution. She didn't mind the peeling paint or the rusting swings at the park that once echoed with laughter. No, she felt an unfamiliar pull, her feet marching forward against her better judgment. Each step stirred the dust, holding the scent of despair and long-lost dreams. But it was more than just a town. It was a labyrinth of memories. Lily discovered an old diary nestled in the debris of a broken-down bus. The pages were yellowed and frail, but the words surged with life. Betrayal, it screamed. The previous owner, a girl named Sarah, carved her heart out onto fragile sheets that shuddered with her hidden truths. They left me for her, she wrote. Goosebumps crawled up Lily's arms. What did this mean? And then it hit her, Sarah was just like her. The air thickened as little by little, the mystery unraveled. Rumors swirled about the evil spirit of a girl scorned, haunting the shadows, waiting for revenge. A chill danced down Lily's spine. Who was Sarah, and why did she still linger in this forsaken place? What betrayal had she suffered? Before we continue, I need to tell you something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to their system, and many people are missing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and select all notifications so you don't miss future videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Suddenly, a shrill scream shook Lily from her thoughts, echoing through the air, amplified by the emptiness around her. Heart racing, she turned and saw a figure dart away from her, cloaked in darkness. Was it Sarah? Or something worse? Desperation kicked in. Her pulse quickened, hammering in her chest. She had to know the truth. But every secret unlocked a door to even more overwhelming questions. What was left for her at home? Why did her own mother seem afraid to mention this place? Panic gripped her, yet a spark of hope flickered. She wasn't here just to uncover a sad story. She was here to find answers. But as dusk enveloped the town, she wondered, was she prepared for the revelations waiting to surface from the shadows? What awaited her next in this haunted land of betrayal? A heavy silence fell again, thick and oppressive, as the last traces of light vanished behind the darkening horizon. Lily felt the weight of the shadows close in around her, and a tremor traveled through her body. Maybe I should go back, she muttered to herself, her words swallowed by the stillness. But deep inside, an urge clawed at her. She wasn't finished yet. Gathering her courage, she moved cautiously toward the point where she had last seen the blurry figure. The air felt charged, electric with anticipation and dread. Each creak of her sneakers against the cracked pavement sounded like thunder in the silence. The whispering wind seemed to carry echoes of laughter, only to dissolve into a bitter sigh. Show yourself, she called out, surprising herself with the steadiness of her voice. The fear that gripped her before began to shift. It was transforming into a burning need for answers. What happened here? Who was Sarah, and why were her words so hauntingly familiar? Just then, the partial moon cast its spectral glow over a disheveled storefront. The sign hanging above the door swayed like a pendulum, creaking eerily. Lily felt like she was being pulled toward it. Every instinct in her screamed to run, yet something deeper held her firm. As she stepped closer, she noticed a sliver of movement inside. Was it the wind? Or was someone there? She peered through the grimy window, half hoping to catch a glimpse of whatever had darted away moments before. The interior was shrouded in shadow, but at the far end, she could make out a silhouette. A figure slumped against the wall, just out of reach of the light. Hello? She called again, her heart pounding in her chest. Is anyone there? The figure froze and a low whisper escaped from the darkness. You shouldn't have come here. Lily's skin crawled at the sound, simultaneously longing for a reply yet terrified of the truth hidden within that warning. She hesitated, a lump forming in her throat. Her mind raced with possibilities. Was it Sarah? The spirit seeking vengeance? Or something far worse, something real in flesh and blood? Suddenly the figure shifted, catching the faint light like a predator poised to strike. Lily gasped, stepping back instinctively. "Who are you?" she demanded, though doubt dipped her voice. The figure spoke again, voice rasping and broken. "I am not the one you are looking for. But I know where to find her." Instantly, fear and curiosity clashed within her. What did this mean? At that moment, the diary in her pocket felt like a burning coal. A reminder of everything she had uncovered and everything still to come. It was too late to turn back. The truth was rippling through the dark like a song waiting to be heard, and Lily was its destined listener. "Tell me," she implored. She had to know what happened here, who had betrayed whom. But the weight of the past pressed against her. Would the answers lead her deeper into danger? Or would they simply reveal more pain? For a moment, silence enveloped them again. Then the figure leaned forward slightly, and with a wicked smile that sent chills down her spine, whispered, "You might just be the one to free her. If you're brave enough to face what lies ahead." With that, the shadows seemed to shift, a pulse of energy thrumming in the air, igniting every fiber of her being. The cold dread had transformed into a tempest of adrenaline. She was not done yet. What did that cryptic message truly mean? Was she really ready to uncover the secret tethering her and Sarah together? As she gripped the diary tighter, a single thought crystallized. The answers she sought would unravel more than just a history of betrayal. They would unearth the darkness lurking within her own heart. And so, Lily took a step forward, determined. The night stretched before her, a tapestry of terror and revelation. But one thing was certain: this was far from over. And somewhere in the shadows, Sarah was still waiting. Lily steeled herself and took another step into the darkness, her breath hitching as she crossed the threshold of the storefront. The door creaked ominously behind her as she entered, echoing through the hollow space. Dust motes danced in the slivered moonlight pouring through the dirty windows. The air was stale, thick with neglect and secrets. "Why are you here?" the figure rasped, voice strained, cutting through the silence. She could finally see it more clearly: a woman, disheveled and pale, her eyes sunken yet piercing. There was an ancient wisdom etched into the lines of her face, but also a fraying terror that mirrored Lily's own. "I need to find Sarah," Lily said. Her words steady, but a quiver of fear seeped through. "What do you know?" The woman's gaze flickered to the diary peeking out of Lily's pocket. "You have it, don't you? The truth is alive in those pages." Her voice was gentle, almost pleading, as if Lily's very possession could crack open a door long sealed. "What truth?" Lily pressed, feeling her frustration boiling. "You have to help me, please." "Every truth comes at a price," the woman warned, her eyes narrowing. "If you seek Sarah, you'll have to confront what she has become. She is still here, trapped, but the darkness that binds her runs deep." Before Lily could process the weight of those words, a sharp sound reverberated behind her, a grating scrape against the floorboards, sending icy spikes of fear racing up her spine. She turned, scanning the shadows, heart racing at the thought of what lurked within. "Who's there?" she shouted. Her voice rang out, more certain than she felt, from the rear of the shop. A low laugh erupted, echoing like thunder through the dead air. It was a sound filled with malice, drawing the tension taut as a bowstring. Slowly, a man stepped forward, his face cloaked in shadows but eyes glinting like steel. The woman recoiled, dread coiling in her expression. "Let her go," the man hissed, narrowing his feral gaze on Lily. "You have no idea what you're walking into." Lily's heart thundered. "What do you want with me?" He stepped into the pale light, and she caught sight of the jagged scar running down his cheek, a reminder of battles fought and perhaps lost. "You think you're special, don't you? The chosen one to save Sarah. But you're tangled in something far more dangerous than you realize." "Stop," the woman cut in. "Leave her alone." But the man only smirked. "You have no idea how long it's been since anyone has dared to come down here and ask the wrong questions." He slowly approached, a predator savoring the hunt. Each step brought an oppressive chill that threatened to freeze her resolve. "What did you do to Sarah?" Lily demanded, desperation creeping into her voice as she instinctively stepped back, eyes darting between the two of them. His grin widened, and the air thickened with his dark energy. But the question should be, what did Sarah do to herself? The gravity of his words hit her like a fist. What did he mean? Every second that passed felt like an eternity. The walls seemed to close in around her, suffocating and charged. Could Sarah have done something so horrific, so self-destructive? Lily's breath quickened. She couldn't back down now, she needed to know. I have to find her, she shouted, the urgency overflowing in her voice. Where is she? A deep, throaty laugh erupted from the man, reverberating with an unsettling resonance. If you want to find her, then you must first uncover the truth. But beware. The truth may shatter everything you believe. As the shadows shifted and the tension climbed, Lily grit her teeth, adrenaline coursing through her veins. She wouldn't back away now, she had come too far. Tell me then, she demanded, every ounce of her being focused on the mysterious figure before her. He leaned in, whispering with chilling intimacy, you'll need to face the nightmare of her reality. A place where no light can reach. The pulse of her heart quickened, filling her with determination and dread. What lay ahead would unravel her very soul. She knew she was standing at the precipice of something enormous, a descent into a truth that could engulf her whole. Her next words were a vow, spoken against the darkness looming over them. Then show me. But as the light flickered and shadows surged, a question burned within her, a fear that gripped tighter than any cold hand. Was she truly ready to confront a past that could destroy not just Sarah, but herself as well? And in that swirling darkness, the night held its breath, waiting for her answer. The man's expression shifted, an unsettling blend of amusement and darkness flickering across his features. So eager, little moth. But understand this. Once you enter that place, you may never return. A cold shiver laced through Lily's spine. The woman beside her watched, a mix of sorrow and sympathy in her gaze. Lily, you have to be careful. The truth is not meant for everyone. Can consume you. Enough. Lily snapped, her frustration boiling. You both keep talking about the truth, but what is it? What happened to Sarah? Follow me, the man purred, stepping back into the shadows as if beckoning a lost child. Each step he took was a challenge, a dare to face the unthinkable. Lily shared a glance with the woman, whose eyes hinted at a truth she desperately wanted to shield her from. If you go, the woman whispered, fear thickening her words, there may be no way out. You might lose everything. But the grip of desperation pulled at Lily's heart, squeezing tighter than the fear that lurked within those shadows. I won't leave without answers, she declared, swallowing down the knot in her throat. The man turned, his figure barely visible now, swallowed by the encroaching darkness. Then come, he beckoned, his voice a haunting echo that stirred the dust around them. Find out what Sarah has become. With each hesitant step forward, doubt clawed at Lily's resolve. Was she walking blindfolded into a trap? And yet she couldn't stop. She couldn't turn back. As she crossed into the deeper darkness, the air changed, growing thick and suffocating, swirling with whispers and shadows. The deeper she ventured, the more the distant sounds morphed into unnerving murmurs, haunting tones that threaded through her mind, scratching against her sanity. Lily, they called, her name echoing through the void, threading through her thoughts like a chilling breeze. She paused, feeling the cold tendrils of fear coil around her heart. Sarah, she called out tentatively, but her voice barely sliced through the oppressive stillness. Not quite, came the man's voice from behind her, causing her to jump. But close enough to give you a taste of what lingers here. He stepped closer, and in that moment, she realized the shadows weren't just empty. They twisted with figures that flickered just out of sight, whispers curling around her like fingers. She pressed against the wall, heart racing, and fought the urge to bolt. Do you see them? He asked, his voice low and soft, almost hypnotic. Their memories trapped inside their own nightmares. They can't escape the guilt of their own making. Lily caught her breath, feeling as if she were standing on the edge of a precipice, peering into the abyss below. What's this got to do with Sarah? He smiled chillingly. Everything. To find her, you must first confront your own shadows. Only then will the truth reveal itself. Confusion twisted inside her. My own shadows? Why me? Because you're not just looking for Sarah. You're searching for redemption. A way to understand the mess of her pain. But understanding darkness means facing your own, Lily. The shadows writhed closer, claws of guilt and sorrow scraping against her, awakening memories she thought buried. In that moment, she saw flashes of Sarah's laughter, her smiles, but mixed with painful memories of times lost, abandoned moments where she felt she couldn't reach her daughter. Lily, help me. The wind seemed to whisper, as though Sarah's own voice was trapped within the shadows, calling for her. I won't fail you, Sarah. Lily yelled, determination flaring in her chest. She swallowed her fear, relinquishing herself to the gripping cold that surrounded her. Ready yourself, the man murmured, his tone almost sympathetic. If you truly wish to understand, then embrace this darkness. But remember, it can take and twist in ways you can't imagine. And as the shadows throbbed with an ever-looming presence, Lily stepped deeper into uncertainty. Could she brave the depths of her own despair? Face the memories that could leave her shattered? The air thickened, holding its breath with her. For one truth echoed relentlessly in her mind. Once she faced the darkness, nothing would ever be the same, and that moment, it hit her, the stark realization that confronting Sarah's reality might mean losing the very essence of who she was. Would she be able to bear the weight of it all? And when she finally understood, would there be anyone left to save, even herself? As the shadows twisted and coiled tighter, Lily felt the shift of something lurking within them. Something ready to strike. Lily felt the air grow heavier, thick like molasses, as unseen shapes moved just beyond her peripheral vision. Every breath she took sent shivers down her spine, the whispers intensifying, melding into sinister murmurs. Her heart pounded in her chest, echoing against the walls of her fear. What do you want from me? She shouted into the darkness, voice quivering yet fierce. The man's silhouette loomed large, a towering figure of dread and allure. Awakening, he replied, his voice dripping with mystery. You must awaken what lies dormant within you. Only then can you find Sarah. Awaken? What did that even mean? It was as if the shadows themselves taunted her, flowing like smoke, beckoning her to step forward into their embrace. But each flicker of movement sent ice rushing through her veins. She glimpsed the edges of faces hidden in the dark, faces she almost recognized. Their eyes bore the weight of countless sorrows, flickering like dying stars. Sarah! She yelled again, desperation clawing at her throat. I'm coming. Do you hear her? The man's expression darkened, his amusement fading as shadows twisted around him. She calls from a deep place, Lily. Can you truly distinguish her voice from this cacophony of anguish? She stepped forward, her feet moving despite the gnawing terror. It felt as if the ground pulsed beneath her. Sarah! I need you! She cried. Panic rippled through her heart. Would she find her daughter, or something far worse waiting beneath the surface? In response to her plea, the shadows throbbed and churned as if alive. Faces began to emerge, each one a ghost of the past. Memories of happier times, laughter and love, tainted with betrayal and pain. As she looked closer, she spotted a familiar figure, a girl who resembled Sarah but wore an expression of anguish. Mom! The girl's eyes locked with Lily's, searching for understanding, pleading for rescue. Please help me. Lily reached out instinctively, but the shadows lurched forward, pulling the girl deeper into darkness. No, don't take her, she shouted, but the abyss was relentless. It swallowed the girl's form, her cries fading into silence. Why? Lily turned to the man, fury trembling in her veins. Why are you letting this happen? Because your truth lies in these shadows, Lily, he answered, his voice low and reverberating. The pain you see is a reflection of your own denial. To save Sarah, you must confront what you've hidden away. Your guilt, your failures. Failures? The accusation stung. It settled like a weight on her chest. Memories washed over her, moments of neglect. Choices made too quickly. Had she failed Sarah? Had she somehow pushed her away? No, she screamed, shaking her head, trying to block the thoughts. I did my best. Did you? The man's voice was softer now, like a solemn whisper. What if your best wasn't enough? A cold dread swept through her. No, don't. She begged. I can't face that. Embrace it, he said simply, the shadows swirling menacingly. Only then will you see what Sarah has become. Breathe, she reminded herself. But panic gripped her. She was losing herself in the tide of darkness, the weight growing heavier. Sarah! I won't abandon you, she cried. The next moment, tendrils of darkness surged towards her, wrapping around her like icy chains. She felt the grip of despair tightening, squeezing her heart, mockingly inviting her to succumb. And in that shattering moment, she realized the truth wasn't just about Sarah. It was about her regrets, fears, and the unraveling of a bond she thought unbreakable. "Help me break free," she screamed into the abyss, but the shadows laughed, a cacophony of haunting voices merging into one chilling reply. "Only after the truth is revealed." And as cold darkness closed in around her, the realization hit her with a force that threatened to break her spirit. Could she withstand the weight of the truth? Did she have the strength to face what lay beyond those shadows, or was she already lost? The shadows pulsed around her, waiting for her next move. An endless night filled with secrets yet to unfold. Lily took a deep breath, staring into the abyss that promised revelations with a price. Were the answers worth the risk? And would she be brave enough to confront a truth that might change everything? With that question looming, Lily felt something shift again. A stirring, something deeper than fear, something more profound, something dangerously close to hope. What lay ahead? And would she embrace it or be consumed? As the shadows tightened around her, Lily felt the icy grip of panic suffocating her breath. They flowed over her skin, whispering taunts, drowning out her thoughts. Only after the truth is revealed. The echo of the man's voice curled around her mind, a malicious riddle that refused to leave. "Think, Lily. You have to think." She clawed at the tendrils swirling around her, desperate to break free. Her heart raced, each pounding beat igniting a flame of defiance within her. Was she really going to allow the darkness to claim her? She shook her head, gripping onto the last threads of her will. "No," she shouted into the suffocating gloom. And in that moment, she felt a flicker, something buried deep within her. It stirred, igniting memories long obscured by fear. Images flashed through her mind. Sarah's laughter ringing in the air, her daughter's vibrant spirit dancing in the light. Those moments felt like distant stars, pulling her towards the truth. "Come on, Lily. Focus," she urged herself. "What have you hidden away?" The shadows wavered, as if participating in her internal battle. They pulled back slightly, startled by the spark of determination she radiated. Suddenly, a vision struck her with the intensity of a lightning bolt. The day Sarah had left for a weekend retreat, the last words exchanged the sting of a fight over a seemingly trivial matter. It had hurt. She felt the ache of that moment now, raw and exposed. What if it wasn't trivial? What if it was the fracture that had split them apart? "Embrace the truth." The man's voice echoed through the shifting dark, teasing and commanding. "Face your failures." "Fine," she screamed. "I'll face my failures if it means saving my daughter." With the words unleashed, the shadows recoiled, momentarily stunned. She felt freer, clarity coursing through her veins. Each breath rekindled her resolve. In that clarity she caught echoes of deeper truths. Lost time, untold fears, shadows of regret layered like walls around her heart, trapping her past. But now those walls were crumbling, and for the first time she began to see herself without the haze. "Show me," she commanded, voice strong. "Show me what I need to confront." A sudden shift in the atmosphere crackled with energy. The shadows swarmed, twisting and formulating a scene that threatened to swallow her whole. Ripping like fabric, the darkness revealed a memory, her last argument with Sarah. Heated words spat in frustration, hurtful accusations thrown like daggers. "Why don't you trust me?" Sarah had yelled, her face twisted with hurt. "You don't see me at all." "Stop," Lily cried, tears spilling from her eyes. "I never meant for it to go this far." The shadows clenched tighter, but her pain became a shield instead, empowering her. "I didn't fail you, I was scared." Each admission cracked the weight of the darkness around her. "Scared of what?" echoed the man, his presence hovering like a storm cloud. But Lily could feel the tide shifting. It was her fear that had betrayed Sarah, not a lack of love. "I was scared of losing you," Lily confessed to the remnants of shadowy faces swirling about her. Their eyes softened, reflecting the burden of surrender. "I pushed you away out of fear." The shadows creaked and shifted, a rumble of recognition vibrating through them. The truth was washing over her, a torrent of sheer reality. But as clarity washed in, the darkness began to grasp at her more fiercely, as if resisting her awakening. "No," she yelled. "You won't take me." But even as she fought back, the void rippled around her, and she realized it wasn't going to release her easily. The shadows seemed to dance, mocking her attempts to break free. What would it take to fully face her past? How much more did she have to endure to save Sarah? To touch the light wrapped tightly around those dark memories. With this thought wrapping around her heart, her resolve deepened. She wouldn't let go of the hope she felt flickering within. "I will find you, Sarah," she declared, readjusting her stance against the onslaught. And just as she steadied herself, something unexpected happened. A warm light flickered from deep within her core, a seed of hope unexpectedly sprouting amidst despair. But was it strong enough to confront the storm ahead? As the shadows convulsed violently, she felt the connection between her and the unknown titan. Would the light guide her through? Or was she teetering on the edge of an even darker abyss? The shadows recoiled, seemingly weakened by her fierce declaration, but Lily knew better than to lower her guard. The flickering light inside her pulsed with determination, defying the dark that sought to consume her. Yet, as quickly as the shadows pulled back, they surged forward again, wrapping around her limbs like serpents, constricting, suffocating. "Give in," the man called from the depths, his voice like ice piercing through her resolve. "All that you are rests in the dark." "No," she gasped, straining against their grip. Memories spilled forth again. Images of laughter and warmth, moments that felt like home but clashed against the cold reality of what had transpired. The echoes of her arguments with Sarah swirled in her mind, scraping raw against her heart. She couldn't let the past rewrite her present. "Stay with me," she called into the dark. The warmth inside her flickered, urging her to remember. With every heartbeat, the emotion surged, filling her with life, with purpose. She pushed against the darkness, summoning thoughts of Sarah, desperately anchoring herself to those moments of love. "Why can't you see me?" Sarah's hurt voice resonated in the emptiness, her image flickering like a broken film reel. "I see you," Lily shouted, fighting back the rising tide. "I see everything. I failed you by turning away." The shadows erupted with fury, roiling and crashing like waves, the voice of the man rising above the chaos. "It won't save you. You're trapped in your regrets." "Maybe," she panted, "but I won't back down. I refuse to be a coward." The light inside her expanded with each claim, pulsing with rhythm, like a heartbeat infusing new life into her. Suddenly, a sharp pain pierced through her abdomen. What? An icy tendril dug deep, siphoning her strength. Fighting back the wave of dizziness that threatened to pull her under, she gasped, focusing on the warmth that enveloped her heart. There it was. A vivid flash of Sarah's face shone in her mind. A moment in the park with blossoms blooming around them, joy wrapped up in laughter. She had refused to listen back then, too blinded by fear. "Sarah, I'm sorry." The words tore from her throat, raw and honest. "I didn't see you. I pushed you away when you needed me most." In response, the shadows hesitated, swirling uncertainly as if caught between retreat and attack. Slowly their grip loosened. Could it be? Was vulnerability finally breaking the stranglehold? "Keep going," the faint voice within her urged. "You are stronger than this." Lily's next words erupted with a fire she could no longer contain. "I love you, Sarah. I've always loved you, and I'm not afraid to show it." The shadows shrieked, a cacophony of fractured voices echoing her confession, only to recoil again. The pulse of light ignited fiercely, pushing them back like the dawn chasing away night. Yet, Lily felt the darkness latching on her again, grasping for that flicker of hope. But within that whirlwind, she noticed a new thread, a glimmer of silver within the shadows. It drew her attention with an irresistible pull, beckoning as if it held secrets she was meant to uncover. "What is that?" she whispered, scarcely daring to reach out. It shimmered and twisted, reflecting her deepest fear yet offering a sense of strange comfort. Was that a memory? A truth waiting for her to seize? As she hesitated, the shadows recoiled once more, seemingly aware of her fascination. "Don't touch it," the man warned, his voice a sharp blade cutting through her thoughts. But she could feel the warmth of the light urging her on. With shaky determination, fingers outstretched, she moved toward it. Would this revelation offer the answers she so desperately needed? Or would it plunge her deeper into the darkness she fought so hard to escape? The air crackled with tension, vibrating with the possibilities that lay ahead. This wasn't just about Sarah anymore. It was about confronting everything she had run from, every truth buried in regret. What lay in that glimmering invitation? As she prepared to touch it, the shadows howled, a cacophony of despair echoing all around her. Was she ready for what awaited on the other side? Lily's hand trembled as it hovered over the silvery thread, its glow pulsating softly, as if alive. The oppressive shadows writhed around her, howling in fury, desperate to keep her from uncovering whatever truth lay beyond. But she couldn't back down. Not now. Not when every ounce of her being screamed that this was the key to breaking free. Lily. The man's voice shattered the air, sharp and threatening. You're playing with fire. This will only hurt you more. But deep down she knew that it was too late to turn back. The warmth growing within her, the love for Sarah, the willingness to confront her own fears pushed her forward. With a deep breath she touched the shimmering thread. An electric jolt shot through her, pulling her in. Instantly the world around her shifted. The shadows faded, replaced by a blinding light that consumed her senses, swirling colors and shapes blending like paint on a canvas. The chaos subsided. She found herself standing in the park from her memory, the vibrancy of flowers encircling her, the soft scent of earth and blossoms filling the air. Everything felt as if it was suspended in time. Then she spotted Sarah sitting on a bench in the distance. Sarah! Lily cried, rushing towards her, hope lifting her heart. But as she got closer she realized something was off. Sarah's expression was distant, her eyes clouded and hollow as if miles away. Sarah's voice was faint, barely more than a whisper. Why did you come back? I had to. I need you. I need to fix what I broke, Lily responded, urgency coursing through her veins. But Sarah simply shook her head, tears glistening down her cheeks. You can't fix this. Not now, not ever. A knot twisted in Lily's stomach. I thought that love could overcome anything. I thought you'd understand. But there was a shadow that flickered in Sarah's eyes. Love isn't enough when you bury the truth, Lily. You ran away from me, from us. And now you'll have to face the consequences. As Lily's heart sank, the park began to fade, replaced by a dark expanse once more. The shadows crept closer, their whispers clawing at her mind. See, this is all you deserve. You thought you could escape? No, she shouted. The light inside her flared, the memories of love and regret battling fiercely against despair. I will fight for her. I will not let you take us. I'll face the truth, no matter how painful. The shadows hesitated, their form flickering like a dying flame. But she felt their power still grasping tightly around her heart. Lily's breathing quickened, her fear rising like bile in her throat as she felt the weight of the man's presence looming closer again. You think you can confront your past? He taunted, laughter echoing off the void. You can't handle the pain. Watch me. She shot back, her resolve hardening. The silver thread she had touched still pulsed faintly in her mind, anchoring her to her purpose. She had to dig deep to find what lay beneath all the hurt. But just as she felt a strength surging through her, the shadows lunged forward in a terrifying wave, swallowing her once more. Ghostly voices screeched from every direction, drowning her in a chorus of despair. Find her. Find the truth, echoed the voice within, a distant reminder of her own strength. But would she be strong enough to break the cycle of pain and regret? Then through the chaos a new image emerged. A face she hadn't seen in years, her mother's face, full of sorrow and secrets, standing amidst swirling darkness. It's time to remember, Lily, she breathed, her voice soft and urgent. Lily's heart raced as she braced herself for what was to come. What secrets did her mother hold? Was the truth about to unravel? Or would the shadows take her before she could discover it? With resolve hardening within her, she prepared to confront the past that spiraled forth from the darkness. But the shadows began to close in once more, bearing down with a rage that threatened to engulf her entirely. Would she uncover the truths buried in her family's history, or would the darkness prevail yet again? Time was slipping away. The shadows surged around Lily, their ethereal tendrils coiling like snakes around her limbs, dragging her toward the void from which they emerged. Panic clawed at her throat, raw and choking, but the image of her mother anchored her, a lighthouse amidst the storm. I'm ready, she whispered, knowing deep down that she had no choice. Ready? Her mother's voice echoed, mingling with the oppressive whispers. You don't know what you're asking. I have to know, Lily insisted, the shimmer of her own honesty sparking in the darkness. I can't fight this without understanding where it all began. For a moment the shadows hesitated, flickering like candle flames in a breeze. Then with a deafening roar they surged forward, and everything erupted into chaos. Suddenly the world shifted again, and Lily was standing in a dimly lit room, its walls lined with old photographs. She recognized the faces her family, smiling, frozen in moments of happiness. But as she took a step closer, she felt the chill of betrayal ripple through her. Each image told a story of harmony, yet the silence was deafening. With each passing moment, a weight began to settle in her chest. This is the truth, she murmured, brushing her fingers against a photo of her mother, younger and radiant, with a man standing at her side. He wore a careless grin that twisted her stomach. Who is he? Lily, her mother's voice came again, appearing next to her, translucent and shimmering with urgency. You need to delve deeper. They took a piece of us, a piece of our history. You have to confront what you discover here. But just then darkness billowed forth, drowning out the images and enveloping her once more. It felt smothering, suffocating her spirit, and once again, the shadows' whispers grew louder. You should be left it buried. They hissed. You think you can change what's already done? No. Lily screamed, defiance igniting within her like a match struck against the night. I won't let you control my fate. I will uncover the truth. With that declaration, the room shifted, and now she stood in a different place, entirely a familiar kitchen. The same kitchen where her mother had prepared endless meals, laughter echoing off the walls. But there was a stillness that gripped the air, a silence thick with sorrow. What happened here? Lily asked, her voice trembling as she took a shaky step inside. Memories flooding back with a bittersweet sting. It's not safe, her mother's figure warned, but she was fading, her light dimming as the shadows danced hungrily around the edges. You have to be quick. Seek the hidden truth before it consumes you. The kitchen warped, shifting through time and dimensions, and three faces appeared in the surrounding darkness. Her mother, herself, and a child she didn't recognize, holding a porcelain doll with cracked features and a twisted smile. Lily felt the atmosphere thicken with dread. Who is she? She gasped, her heart racing as the child's eyes met hers, so familiar and yet hauntingly distant. An echo, a part of you, her mother whispered, urgency tightening her tone. Before Lily could respond, the child burned brightly, and she was there, standing in front of them, whispering a name that rattled through the air like a gunshot. Sarah. Terror crashed around Lily, her breath hitching as a new realization swept over her. The child bore a resemblance to Sarah, yet the implications twisted her stomach into knots. Sarah was Lily started, but the shadows surged again, louder, angrier, as if they sought to silence her. No more, she shouted, clenching her fists. I will learn, I will face the darkness. You won't take her from me. But before she could gather her resolve, everything around her collapsed into darkness, leaving her suspended in a void, the words of the shadows echoing in her mind. You think you can change destiny? You'll find only heartbreak and betrayal. Lily felt it all slipping through her fingers, a twisting vortex. Would she pull the threads of truth together? Or would the shadows bury her in despair once more? The unknown loomed over her like a storm cloud, threatening to unleash chaos at any moment. What truth awaited her next? The darkness pulsed around Lily, an ever-looming void that threatened to swallow her whole. But even as despair threatened to consume her, a flicker of defiance stirred within. I won't let you drag me down. I will find Sarah. The words felt like lines drawn in the sand. She was done letting the shadows control her life. Tendrils of darkness whipped around her, closing in with intimidating ferocity. The echoes of pain and betrayal filled the air as the whispers amalgamated into a menacing chant. You can't escape destiny. You can't change the past. Lily closed her eyes, honing in on the memories that refused to be silenced. No, you're wrong. She could see them clearly now. Moments of laughter, lessons shared, and an unbreakable bond with her daughter. The love she held deep inside surged forth, igniting a warmth that clashed brilliantly against the shadows surrounding her. I love you, Sarah, she cried, her voice ringing with conviction as she opened her eyes. Something shifted, timid glimmers sparked around her, tiny fireflies fighting back the dark. The shadows shrank back, their grip easing, as if startled by her sudden strength. "This is my truth. Hear me," she shouted, pouring all her hope into those words. The voices began to wane, reluctantly fading into the background, and she felt an immediate rush of clarity. "You're not alone," a gentle voice whispered in her ear. Lily turned to find the spectral image of her mother, glowingly vibrant amidst the darkness. "Embrace the truth. Don't run from it." Mom, something within Lily clicked. A line from the formula of fear now connected. "This child, the one carrying the doll? Is she Sarah or the ghost of what I neglected? Am I to blame?" "Yes," her mother said, tenderness mingling with urgency. "She is a part of you, a fragment intertwined in your pain. The unaddressed wounds give way to regret. You must confront this to enter the light." In that moment, understanding coursed through her veins like warm sunlight after a stormy night. "I see it now. I pushed her away, chose fear over love. I didn't trust her enough to let her in." The shadows howled in defiance, swirling around her with renewed vigor. "You think love will save you? You are broken. It will save us both," Lily declared, the intensity of her voice thriving amid the tumult. "I refuse to let the past dictate my future. I will reclaim our story." The very ground shook as if responding to her declaration. Drawing all of her chaotic thoughts into focus, she recalled Sarah's laughter, her resilience, and the bond that once defined them. "You're talking about betrayal," she screamed into the swirling void. "What about healing? What about love?" Then she remembered the diary, those frail pages teeming with secrets, unearthing truths long denied. Sarah wasn't just a victim. She was vibrant, alive with dreams. She didn't want to be left behind. That realization shot through her like a bullet. She wanted to connect, to share. And as those thoughts collided, the energy shifted. The shadows recoiled, flickering uncertainly, while the warmth inside her surged brightly, illuminating the darkness that clawed at her. To save her, I need to own my truths. Every scar, every moment lost with that mental collision. A brilliant light exploded forth, bursting through the shadows like dawn breaking through a storm. She felt the pieces clicking together, healing the fractures. Memories ignited with purpose, and in their warmth, she remembered Sarah sharing her hopes, dreams, and struggles, everything she feared her mother wouldn't accept. "I understand you now." The words burst out of her. "I should have listened. You fought for my love while I struggled with my own fears. I was so blind." In the heart of the shadows, an eerie silence twisted the air, inches away from cacophony. Then a soft cry echoed through the void. "Mom?" Lily's heart leaped, threads of connection weaving together in the unseen. "Sarah," she cried desperately. Would she find her daughter in the depths of despair? "Mom, help me," the voice trembled, echoing through the dark, fragile yet resolute. "I'm coming, baby. I'll pull you from the shadows." Like a moth drawn to a flame, she sprinted toward the chilling sound. Each step felt heavier than the last, yet determination propelled her forward. The shadows raged around her, hissing like ghosts in anguish. They were desperate to hold her back, but she wouldn't relent. "I choose love. I reclaim my truths." And with every ounce of her being, Lily punched through the darkness, penetrating the insidious veil until she felt the cool surface of a hand, slender and familiar, cold yet real. "Mom!" Sarah gasped, a small spark of light shining through the layers of torment. "Hold on." Lily gripped her daughter's wrist, pulling with all her might. Suddenly, the shadows surged around them, threatening to drag them down, and the man's laugh echoed around them, cold and mocking. "You think you can escape? This is where you belong." "No," Lily shouted, locking her gaze with Sarah's. "We are not bound by this pain anymore." She felt the warmth radiate from their joined hands, a connection stronger than all the dark, all the failures. With that surge, their combined love erupted, crashing against the shadows like a thunderstorm cleaving the skies. The storm dissipated, shadows scattered like paper torn by the wind, and in that moment of rising hope, a blinding light enveloped them, consuming the darkness until it was gone. When the glow settled and reality returned, they stood in the middle of that haunting park, the stillness around them filled with chirping birds and rustling leaves, life in all its vibrant, chaotic glory. Lily fell to her knees, overcome with emotion as she pulled Sarah into a tight embrace. "I thought I lost you," she cried, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I'm so sorry. I should have seen you." I should have listened. But Sarah squeezed her tighter, warmth wrapping around them like a blanket. You came back for me. That's all that matters. As they embraced, the burden of regret began to lift, leaving behind only an ember of connection, one that had weathered the storm and emerged hopeful. They would face the future together, and each step would be a testament to love overcoming betrayal. Lily looked at her daughter, at the light and life shining in her eyes. The shadows might linger, but they would not shape who they were anymore. They had conquered the darkness. As they stood together, a new chapter awaited, ready to blink awake in soft sunlight, full of promise and redemption. And just like that, Lily knew this wasn't an ending. It was a beautiful beginning. So don't forget to show your support. You need to subscribe now for more incredible stories that will take you to the edge, unveil hidden truths, and guide you through your own journeys of love and redemption. Smash that like button to feed the algorithm, because it truly helps. Flood the comments section below with your thoughts on this wild conclusion, and your theories about what comes next. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see just how powerful love can be.